All right, there we go. Today we're going to talk about our last section in this unit. This one focuses on text structure. So the other day we looked at text features. Text features are the things, the way that the words and the print on the paper, what that looks like. And those are things like bold print or captions or underlining or maps or graphics, those types of things. Those are text features. Today we're looking at text structure. Text structure refers to how the text is organized. Okay, this is important in nonfiction because if you understand how the text is organized, it might help you understand the information better. So the first one, we're going to look at 5 of them. The first one we're going to look at is chronological. Chrono means time. So when information in the passage is organized by time, that's going to be chronological. Usually, it contains dates. Okay, but there'll be a beginning, a middle, and an end to the story, but usually there's dates. So that's always a good clue, okay? Here's the passage. Hurricane Katrina began as a tropical depression 12 over southeastern Bahamas on August 23, 2005. The depression later strengthened into a tropical storm on the morning of August 24th, where the storm was also named Katrina. Katrina continued to move into Florida and became a Category 1 hurricane only 2 hours before it made landfall around Hallandale Beach on the morning of August 25th. The storm weakened over land, but became a hurricane again while entering the Gulf of Mexico. Okay, so this is talking about Hurricane Katrina and how it moved from a tropical depression up to a Category 1 hurricane. Okay, and it has those dates in there. It's telling you basically this took 2 days to go from a tropical depression 12 to a Category 1. And you guys were really young when Hurricane Katrina happened, but it was really devastating. So, all right, the second one, the way that texts are structured is compare and contrast. Okay, we did a compare and contrast essay earlier this year about the Amigo brothers and Paul Bunyan and the things that they had in common and were different. So that's the same with the compare and contrast. It's a text structure or pattern of organization where they talk about similarities or differences between two or more things. So here's an example. A hurricane is a large storm with heavy winds and rains that begins in the ocean and builds up strength as it moves across water. While some of the damage caused by hurricanes is from high winds, most of it is usually from tidal surge, flooding entire cities and killing large numbers of people. A tornado is a storm that develops on land with no warning and moves in a circular motion with heavy winds in a funnel shape, picking up and carrying dirt, dust, and even objects. The damage caused by tornadoes is from the high velocity winds, which are extremely destructive and deadly. They can demolish entire neighborhoods in the matter of a few seconds to a few minutes. Tornadoes can form when hurricanes make landfall as their winds at ground level slow down, while the winds near the top keep their momentum. But a hurricane cannot be caused by a tornado. Okay, so on one side you have all of the things that make a tornado. The other side you have everything that makes a hurricane and talks about how they're similar and how they're different. Okay, obviously they both deal with heavy winds. One is over water, one is over land. A tornado can become a hurricane, but a hurricane cannot form a tornado. So that is an example of a compare and contrast text structure. The third one is cause and effect. Okay, this explains why something happens or the effects of something. The surface of the earth is divided into pieces called tectonic plates. These plates move. When the plates rub against each other, they don't move smoothly. When the plates do not move smoothly, earthquakes result. Some parts of the world get more earthquakes than other parts. The parts of the earth that gets most earthquakes are near the edges of these plates. Okay, so cause and effect. It's telling you about the fact that there's these tectonic plates. When they rub up against each other, it causes an earthquake. Okay, here's the cause. The tectonic plates rubbing against each other. The effect is a earthquake. Next one is sequence. This is organized in steps. Do not get this confused with chronological. Sequence is talking about you do this, and then you do this, and then you do this. Chronological is talking this happened, then this happened in time order. This is talking about in the order that they happen, not time order, but the order that they happen. Okay, so the foundation of every good pizza is a crust. A good crust comes from good dough. You might be surprised to learn that pizza dough is made from nothing more than flour, water, yeast, olive oil, salt, and sometimes sugar. Start by adding your yeast packet to to a cup of warm water. Let the yeast activate and then add 2 cups of flour, 2 tablespoons olive oil, 2 teaspoons sugar, and a teaspoon of salt. Mix all of that together and wait for half an hour for the dough to rise. Now you are ready to roll it out. Okay, so it's telling you first you add the yeast to the warm water, then you let it activate, then you mix in the flour, then the olive oil, the sugar, and the salt. Then you mix it all together, wait for a half hour, and let the dough rise. Okay, so it's telling you the things that need to happen in the order in which they happen. All right, the very last one is problem and solution. This is where they present a problem in either a possible or attempted solution. So here's some problem, here's how we maybe could fix it. Cooking the perfect pizza at home can be quite a challenge. If the oven is too hot, the crust will burn, become hard, and taste bad. If your oven isn't hot enough, the crust may get soggy. Even at the perfect temperature, extra moisture from your ingredients may prevent the bottom of the crust from fully cooking. But don't let the oven temperature stop you from building the pizza of your dreams. Get yourself a pizza stone. A pizza stone will get very hot when preheated and will allow your crust to fully cook without burning it. Then you can pile the ingredients on your pizza and have a crispy crust that isn't burned. That is the way to go. Okay, so the problem is getting the crust right. Sometimes it's too soggy, sometimes it's burnt. Sometimes when you're trying to get your ingredients on the top cooked, then it can cause a problem with the crust. The solution, you could do a pizza stone. That would fix the problem of ending up with either burnt or soggy pizza. Okay, so you're going to do a little bit of practice today on this in reading a passage and then deciding what kind of text structure this has. You're definitely going to have quite a few of these on your CSA next week on Tuesday and Wednesday.